Doing more does not inherently mean that you're always going to get a better result. If you're a guy who's struggling to get leaner, build up strength, build up endurance, build up their overall health and fitness, or you're not achieving the personal or professional development goals that you're actually chasing, you could fall into these two categories. So maybe you're person A. You're the overachiever who's always setting out a tremendous amount of work for themselves, but you always wind up becoming super fatigued. Maybe you get injured from your training, you wind up getting sick, and this derails you. It slows down your progress towards your goals in and outside of the gym. And also another negative result is the fact it has a massive impact on your mental health. Maybe you're grumpy or you're depressed all the time because you're so run down, yet you're not ready to let go of your commitment to training or to your nutrition. You're also probably the person who wants to chase the most extensive training routine, or you want the fanciest or the hardest diet to do. If you are this person, you need to learn to pull things back a notch. Otherwise, you're just going to keep derailing your own progress and you're in a cycle where you're not learning from your mistakes. Now, maybe you're person B, who is quite similar to person A, except you're always looking for the best way to do things. You're trying to perfect your routine, or you're always thinking of more things that you can incorporate into whatever your success routine is for your health, fitness, personal and professional development. However, when it comes to the crunch, you don't actually wind up doing much at all. You tend to overanalyze and overplan, and this leads to you doing sweet fuck all. And how do you think that I know about this? Because I've been in both categories, and you may find that you've been one, the other, or maybe even both as well. Now let's turn this to the training side of things. You're usually thinking the more days that you train, the more sets, reps, exercises that you do, the longer or faster you run, you always think it's going to be the best thing for the outcome. And that's because you're working with a belief system that more is better, or harder is better, or I need to be exhausted or fatigued from the training that I'm doing. And this causes you to see less results from your training because you're not getting adequate recovery between these training sessions. When it comes to your nutrition, you want to go for the biggest calorie deficit that you can so you can lose fat super fast. However, your performance in and outside of the gym starts to suffer because you cut your calories too much and you're not providing your body with enough fuel to actually perform. Side note, I find rainbow lorikeets pretty cute, but I've never wanted to shoot one with a gun so bad in my fucking life. Shut up. Now, when it comes to person B, when we're talking about training and nutrition, when it comes to the training, they're trying to draw up the perfect training routine. They're doing all this research, watching all these videos, trying to construct this meticulous, evidence-based routine, but they hardly ever train. They're not consistent, and they let that paralysis by analysis stop them from actually taking action that gets them results. When it comes to their food, they're looking if they should be eating organic or cutting out sugar. They're looking at all these different types of diets. Maybe they are looking at some research, and they're trying to make things so optimal, again, that they don't actually take action. Or in both cases with training and nutrition, maybe they do take action, but they just realize that it's actually so hard to sustain that they fall off the bandwagon. Yet they jump back on the bandwagon and try it again and again, and they stay in this vicious cycle. Now, if you're a bloke and you're relating to either or both of these categories, you need to take a step back and start creating more awareness about what's actually happening. Because in the short run, you might not think much of this, but just ask yourself, how long has this been going on for? How long have you been holding yourself back from better results? Due to having this all-in, go, go, go mindset where you run yourself into the ground and you're fatigued, and this affects your results but also your quality of life, or having this all-in or all-out approach where you're trying to perfect things to a T but you never actually take consistent action for long enough to see the results, and again, this still affects your quality of life because you're so up and down all the time. The worst part of it all is it just knocks your self-confidence. You feel like you're not seeing the results from your training, nutrition. You feel like you're not getting closer to what your goal actually is. However, all it takes is just opening up your perspective, as I said, stepping back, and even just starting to write down what has happened. Sometimes we have to take it out of our mind and put it onto paper to actually rationalize and look at it with a logical mind. Because trust me, right now, mate, you're looking at it with emotion. You've got this belief system that things have to be a certain way for you to succeed, but it's just not working. And to be honest, that's probably not far off being at the definition of insanity. to do something over and over again, expect a different result, but it just keeps coming out with the same outcome. Again, I'm not just pinning you down here. I know this has been a problem for me in the past, and I've had to work hard to change it, and it does take time like anything else. So let's actually give you something actionable to do moving forward. If you fall into the A category and you're always the person that feels like they have to do more, go harder, but you're constantly fatigued, burned out, you're getting injured, ill, and this is just affecting your results, you're starting to plateau, you're not seeing the outcomes that you want to, that you intended to when you started this, you need to start to dial things back and think, what is the minimal effective dose that I actually need to improve? And you need to understand the element of recovery, not even in regards to your training and nutrition, but if you feel like you're losing creativity when it comes to your work or the business that you're running, try having a day off, try doing some journaling, try getting out into nature, try having a conversation with a group of like-minded people who are running businesses or think in a similar mindset, and see what that does for you up here. When it comes to your training, if you're constantly looking for more days, more sets, reps, and exercises, more distance, more speed, try pulling it back a little bit, where you're looking for the minimal stimulus to get maximal adaptation, to reduce the amount of total fatigue you get, allowing you to collectively train better over a training week, which is going to compound over the weeks and months as they go by. Now, if you're the person that's falling into the second category, one of the best things I found is actually just getting someone else to write you a training plan or write you a nutrition plan, whatever it may be, but you can actually collaborate with them on it, agree with them on some points. If you're trying to perfect this routine, you've got to understand, just like the category A person, what is the minimal amount that I need to actually improve? And again, this comes to your health, fitness, but also your personal and professional development as well. And leaning into that side a bit more, what's the minimal amount? What is good enough for you to actually get by on the next project that you're working on? Or if you're looking at going on dates with your partner, or starting to go on dates, trying to find a new partner because you're single, don't feel like you have to do it 7 days a week. Don't feel like you have to hang out with your mates 7 days a week. Or if you don't have mates, don't feel like you have to search for mates 7 days a week. Take a more reduced approach. Less is often going to be more, because with a lower frequency, you're going to put more intention and effort with each thing that you're doing. Volume isn't always the key, and this is always related to our training, but it's also related to how we live our life as well. Realistically, if you are a bloke that struggles because you're run down all the time, you're moody, it affects your mental health, and this causes you to self-isolate, or you're the guy that just never feels like they get anything done because your perfectionistic tendencies and ability to go from A to B to C always stops you from actually following through with what you're going to do, please take this advice today. And if this hasn't helped you at all, go search on this great thing we call YouTube, because half the time, anything I'm going to be talking about to you, I've watched or listened to, or I've read in a book as well. Remember guys, more isn't always better. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Please comment below if it helped. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe so you can stay in tune for my future content. For any guys out there who are looking to build a leaner, stronger, and more endurable physique, you want to improve your mental resilience, mental health, and your self-confidence, hit me up on Instagram, DM me Forge, or you can hit the link in my bio to apply for the waitlist for the Forge program that is going to be launching on the 13th of January, 2025. I'll see you guys next time.